Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 9 of our look at our favorite rock guitar teams of all time, our 31 favorite rock guitar teams. One each day we're talking about together. I'm giving you my picks. You're giving yours in the comments below. 31 days of October. Our 31 favorite guitar teams, 2 or more guitar players. They could both be lead players. One could be a fabulous lead player and the other could be a kick-ass rhythm player. Or maybe you got 3 guitar players and all 3 of them are terrific and work so well together. That's kind of what we're going for. Our favorites. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. There's so many good ones in rock history. So whether it be hard rock, classic rock, metal, power metal, black death metal, progressive rock, thrash, whatever. There's so many good ones. So this particular, I couldn't have this month without talking about these 2 guys. I like their band quite a bit. One of them's not in the band any longer, but back in 1982, they debuted with an album called Dawn Patrol. Of course, I'm talking about Jeff Watson and Brad Gillis from Night Ranger. You guys remember where you were the first time? Maybe you heard Don't Tell Me You Love Me on the radio. I remember thinking, oh, this is a pretty damn cool song. It's kind of heavy, it's kind of catchy, and then all of a sudden, those guitar solos came in, and you heard one guy going ape shit on the whammy bar, and the other guy doing this crazy kind of tapping thing, which was a little different than what we were hearing from guys like Eddie Van Halen and whatnot. And they're like, oh, that's a little different. As it turns out, he was using 4 fingers and doing like this kind of cool stuff, right? So Brad Gillis, the guy with the whammy bar, also a tremendous lead player in his own right, and Jeff Watson, who did all the kind of sophisticated voicings and things, and blazing runs, using that tapping style, right? And just amazing. What do you call Night Ranger? Pop metal. Just a good commercial hard rock band, right? I mean, they did a little bit of everything. These guys could shred, they could do pop ballads, they could play just really good arena-friendly heavy rock. I mean, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Sing Me Away, Edie's Coming Out Tonight, Penny, the title track, so many great songs on this. It really was, though, on their second album that they really, really broke big. Of course, You Can Still Rock in America. You got flying fingers on the fretboards on that particular song. I love how both these guys sounded so different from each other. They complemented each other really, really greatly. Rumors in the Air, Sister Christian was their big hit. That just very lyrical whammy bar solo from Gillis, just amazing. Touch of Madness, Passion Play, When You Close Your Eyes, a great example of how these guys did like more ballady type rock music so well. Of course, you got 7 Wishes, which is great. Title track, so good. They came up with some really good riffs, too. It wasn't all about the solos for these guys. I mean, the riffs were really good. You got Jack Blades on vocals, right? Terrific singer and bass player. 4 in the Morning. Again, really, really good pop metal, pop hard rock. Some really nice riffs, great choruses. I Need a Woman, Sentimental Street. Who wasn't if you were a fan of just rock music in general, who wasn't singing Sentimental Street at that? I remember the summer that it came out. This Boy Needs to Rock, okay, Interstate Love Affair. So many like classic hit songs from the band. Their popularity would start to wane after that. Big Life came out after that. This not quite doing as well, and they're the guys in the band. The 2 guys right front and center, those are your 2 guitar players. There's Mr. Watson, there's Mr. Gillis, there's Jack Blade over here. Okay. And then, they got Man in Motion. Obviously, Man in Motion was kind of somewhat of a hit for them. Then, of course, they would kind of go their separate ways for a while. You would have Jack Blades would go on to Night Ranger, Damn Yankees, of course, with Tommy Shaw and Ted Nugent. And the other guys would start, I think Jeff Watson went and put that band together with Joe Lynn Turner, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the bands and like when all that happened. Mother's Army, I believe. Yes, Mother's Army. Who else was in Mother's Army? Don't quite recall. Wasn't Carmine Appice in Mother's Army, I think? I don't know. Anyway, there's a bunch of guys. That was another kind of like little super group that never really went anywhere. I remember getting their albums in the early 90s thinking, oh, this is pretty good. And you couldn't find them anywhere. And just, like 1 or 2 albums, and they just disappeared off the face of the earth. And then, Night Ranger got back together again in the mid-'90s. I think their next album was 1995, Feeding Off the Mojo. But, the cracks were already kind of there, and people weren't really buying those. Before you know it, Jeff Watson, another one of those guys who just, left this semi-popular band, and, you'd show him, you'd see him here and there, putting down a solo on this album or that album after Mother's Army, but never really kind of made much of an impact anywhere else. And I don't even know if he's playing music these days. So, and you know, Brad Gillis is still going strong in Night Ranger. He's had a few different dance partners along the way, but of course, it's the original duo, Jeff Watson and Brad Gillis, that we always remember and we always think about, who did some spectacular stuff together. Again, two really good lead players who had completely distinct styles from each other and made the music of Night Ranger really, really exciting, because not only did they have like all the big hooky choruses that, you know, pleased people, you know, like the ladies and people who weren't, you know, into musician stuff, right? Just the big hooks, anthemic choruses, yes, memorable songs, they rock, but for the folks who, you know, maybe also were musicians and guitar players and stuff, who liked all the geeky, nerdy stuff about guitar solos and all that sort of thing, lots to love in the music of Night Ranger, which was really, really cool. So that's, you know, for me, I love a good catchy hook, I love a song that rocks, and I love blazing guitar solos. So got all of it there for me, right? So it's one of the reasons why I've always liked Night Ranger so much. So there you have it. Brad Gillis, Jeff Watson from Night Ranger. Any of these early albums, Pete's putting them out of order, because when they go back on the shelf, they got to go back in the order that they were released, right? People often ask me that, right? You're getting a little tidbit here from the way I operate the shelves behind me. It's like, Pete, how is everything, how is it all set up there? Well, it's like they're alphabetical by band or artist, last name, first letter, last name of the artist, and then they're all on the shelf by the order that the albums were released. All right, very important. I know I'm ridiculous with that kind of stuff, but that's how I put all my stuff away. So everything's really easy to find for the most part. But you know, every now and then, because I have a lot of stuff in my closet here too, a lot of times things just get shoved in there, and that's why once a year I need to spend like 3 days straight going through the stuff in the closet and recategorizing everything and getting rid of some stuff. And yeah, it's a nightmare when you got as much music as I do. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, Night Ranger, that's today. So let us know what you think of these two guys down in the comments below, as well as your pick for day 9. And we'll be back at you tomorrow with another one. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell. We also have the links below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, and we thank you for all your donations, as well as our merch page. We got a brand new Sea of Tranquility shirt you got to check out. So go click on that link below and get yourself the new serpent or snake shirt. It's awesome. Great colors on that. We also have a whole bunch of our shirts are now being offered on Amazon.com as well. So check that out, and please hit that like button before you leave. We greatly appreciate that. So I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you pretty soon with more stuff, right? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.